This practice is brought to you by Shanthi Project, a 501c3 educational nonprofit teaching social emotional resiliency through the practice of mindfulness. So this practice is remembering your goodness. And so this one is a good one if you find yourself ruminating on things that you regret or mistakes you've made. Or you're trying to let go of habits that you feel are in some way unhealthy for you. So this practice is to help you redirect your attention and remember your goodness, the goodness within. And the point is not to deny our mistakes or things that we might have said that we wish we could take back, but to prevent us from overanalyzing them or creating stories around them. And when we do that, we have a tendency to reinforce our pain or discomfort or even the alienation that it may have already caused you. So when you're able to reflect on even one good thing about yourself, you're building that bridge to kindness and compassion. And I think that kindness and compassion piece and that empathy is desperately needed right now in our world. So that's what I want to offer you guys today, because I know that that's personally what I need also today. So to get started, let's go ahead and just find a comfortable position with your body. So whether that's sitting up in a chair, or if you find yourself that reclining back or laying down feels more comfortable for you today. And so go ahead and just start to maybe move around in the seat a little bit until you find that your sit bones and your legs, everything has space. And then noticing, is there any tension or ease in the body? So giving yourself a moment to scan from the head all the way on down. And then when you arrive at your feet, just notice where the feet are, taking a moment to rock the feet forward and back, and then finding the feet softly resting right down. So if your legs are crossed or ankles are crossed, try and just uncross for this time. And then noticing the backs of your legs resting down in the seat. Noticing your spine. Let it find the support. And going all the way up through the shoulders and noticing if your shoulders are shrugged up towards your ears, or can you just take one arm at a time and simply let the elbows and the palms just rest. And go ahead and scan around the neck, the muscles of the face, the eyes, the jawline, even the tongue in your mouth. And then see if you can move your attention from the physical sensations in the body to the feeling of the breathing, allowing the breath to be the focal point. And whether that's the feeling of the air going in and out through the nose, or the feeling of the air lifting and lowering the abdomen and the navel. Let's take a moment and just put our focus right in the breathing. Just feeling out where that breath goes. And if you find that the eyes want to close, you can allow the eyes to close. Or if it feels better for you to just look down, Go ahead and let your gaze be soft. But know that you don't have to focus on the screen or my image on the screen. And the next time you come to the feeling of the in-breath, breathing in, and then open the mouth and just let the exhale go out as a deep sigh. And let's try that 3 more times, breathing in through the nose at your pace. Exhaling out through the mouth. And once again, inhaling. Exhaling. And again, inhale. And open the mouth and exhale. And then beginning to let the breath just happen. Remembering that in these moments, if the mind starts to drift or wander, we're just gently shepherding our attention away from a wandering thought, back to that awareness, that focus of the breath in and the breath out. Knowing that you may do that shepherding a dozen times while we are together. And that is okay. That is just simply part of the practice. Now let's just move the breath out of the forefront of the mind. And let's shift our attention and our awareness to bringing to mind one thing you have done or said recently that you feel was good or kind. Maybe you smiled at someone or listened to their story. Maybe you let go of an annoyance. Maybe you were generous. And just know that as you bring this moment into your mind, into existence, maybe it's fuzzy, maybe it's cloudy, maybe it's very vivid, and you remember that moment with lots of clarity. So it's not conceited or arrogant to consider these things, these moments that made you feel good or was an act of kindness. As you breathe and you sit in your body and you experience that moment, know that it's nourishing, it's replenishing, to take delight in the good that moves through us. So go to the feeling of that moment. And as you breathe, notice what the physical sensation of that moment was like. Notice what the mood was like, or what your thoughts are around that experience. We don't need to create a story about before or after. Just see if with the most gentle of awareness, you can check in with how that physically felt, what the thoughts were in that moment. and the delight. What that delight might have been. And then let's move forward. Think of one of your qualities or skills that you like or appreciate. Notice what comes to mind. Perhaps you are enthused about it. Perhaps you're enthused about helping others. Maybe there's an enthusiasm about helping others learn, or a committed to practicing patience towards a person that maybe rubs you a little the wrong way. Maybe there was a moment where you were able to apply your mindfulness. Maybe that's a skill that you like or are beginning to appreciate about yourself. And sit with that for a moment, moving through that triangle of awareness as you breathe. When you feel the qualities that you like or appreciate about yourself, what does that physically feel like in your body? What kind of mood state does that put you in? What are some emotions that rise to the surface of your awareness? Notice if you get caught in a storyline surrounding this question or this feeling or this mood or this physical sensation. And just gently, with the most lightest of touch, bring yourself back to the breath. And then for a moment, recognize that one of the truest feelings is that we want to be happy. We want to feel happy. And if you find yourself caught in self-criticism, can you move your attention to the mere fact that you have an urge towards happiness, towards comfort, towards stability, and that there is kindness and beauty in that. And recall that all beings everywhere want to be happy. They want to feel appreciated, and have that safety, and that everybody wants to be happy. And so as you breathe, don't move in the direction of shame or guilt, or try not to move in the direction of shame or guilt if you're longing for happiness. As you breathe, recall that happiness is your birthright. And seeking happiness is not a problem. The trouble is that we often do not know where and how to find genuine happiness. And in that, we make the mistakes that cause us suffering towards ourselves or others. Knowing that when we support the urge towards happiness through the practice of mindfulness, through that gentle awareness of the breathing, of the body, of the physical sensations and our mood states, that it can become like a homecoming instinct or a compass pointing us back to the feeling of the self and towards freedom. And so as you breathe, noticing if there were feelings of shame or guilt or criticism about the feeling of wanting happiness or to feel the goodness within. And just seeing if we can shift our perspective, even the smallest amount, to knowing that the feelings of kindness and compassion and empathy and happiness are our birthright. And so if you're finding any impatience or judgments or any feelings of resentment emerge during this time, try not to feel as though you have failed or done something wrong. Know that this is entirely natural, this cycle. Simply allow the negative reaction to ebb as a wave on the beach. And see if you can return to that happiness, that kindness, that compassion, contemplation of that without self-criticism. So let's sit for a few more moments. Maybe just watching, observing, and noticing that ebb and flow of the tide between our judgments and our desire for happiness. And anytime the mind begins to wander away, notice if there's a judgment about that. Know that that is natural, and we just try and gently bring our attention back right here into this moment, into the breath. And just taking another inhale. And if you'd like to open the mouth and exhale out, let it go, sighing out the breath. And again, noticing your feet on the floor, your back, your spine, supported by the chair. And your attention moving back into the muscles of the face, allowing for shoulders and elbows and wrists and palms to just be at ease. And if the eyes are closed, you can slowly begin to open the eyes, just allowing for the gaze to be soft. And as you bring your awareness back into the room that you are in, the space that you are in, just notice what is resonating for you. knowing that whatever your experience was like during that mindfulness practice, whether you were able to find those qualities, you were able to notice when that shame or guilt came up, and if you got stuck in that shame or guilt, remembering that this is a practice and it's something that we all experience. And every time we sit and we breathe, something different may arise for us, something different may show up. But ultimately, knowing that that desire for happiness and safety and comfort and compassion is something that is our birthright and is something that we all deserve, not because of our ego or feeling conceited, but because it is what keeps us in our own humanity and the ability to have that humanity and that compassion for others. And that's what unifies us.